With the rise in player population in Dota 2, we are seeing proportional increases in the players populating the prisons that are low priority. Some have served a considerable number of low priority games already.
So, how many of your games are low priority?
750. Around 800.
That many?
Around 800.
Why? Why do that to yourself?
Do
And
what?
others?
I was born in this system, man. My parents were born in this system.
Don't you?
Low prio is me. I am low prio, man.
Don't you want a better life?
Better life means nothing to me, man.
And some are confused about why they're here in the first place.
I don't understand why I can't call a guy if he's being a huge you know? I mean, like, bound all over in the entire system. Why can't I call someone if they're acting like it? Because it's sensitive society. Is that right?
This is Dota 2, locked up, low priority.
Do we allow conjugal visits in low prio here? Just a question.
This is Roland from Defense of the Patients, a Dota 2 podcast. We'd like to thank you for listening, and we hope you're enjoying our content. If you are, tell a friend. Find .p on defenseofthepatients.com or go to iTunes to download the show and leave a comment. We will read the best on the show. Also, you can go to Facebook and give us a like. Sincerely, from everybody here on the show, thank you for listening to .p.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Defense of the Patients, a Dota 2 podcast. I'm your host Cyphus, sitting here with my co-host Roland.
Hello, everybody.
And if you want to find us, you can find us at defenseofthepatients.com, on Twitter at .p_show, defenseofthepatients@gmail.com if you want to start sending us messages, and of course iTunes, everybody's favorite, where you can subscribe to the show and also leave us a review.
Well, you do need to know about the email, because we have Shane Kimbrell now. He's trying to collect as much content as possible. Please save your match IDs if something like epic happened. And if something epic happened within the game, timestamp it. Make Shane Kimbrell's life a lot easier.
Yeah, he wants to really revamp the YouTube channel, which we fully welcome. And we've been getting a couple of other offers along the way to help in other ways. So all that help's
awesome.
Appreciated. Yeah.
This community is awesome. I'm so glad we're doing... Well, it's not I'm so glad Eric and Denomos are doing a show. I don't know, for all you guys. I mean, I know we're doing a show for you guys too, but they're doing a show, .p Guild Chat.
Yeah, they're so directly in touch with the guild in ways that we aren't. And in all reality, it would feel false to take credit for the guild anyway. I mean, they are the Easy in particular, and now Denomos and Kimbrell has helped, and all of the officers. I know I'm leaving off like.
Yeah, there's
so
there's a huge officer. My Dota just crashed. Oh my god! I was pulling it up. I was like, "There's a huge officer list." There's everybody who's an officer deserves to be an officer, and we want to thank you. You guys are helping grow. We're just about to hit 200. Which is
where Easy says we're doing another giveaway.
Yeah, we're doing another giveaway. 200 may not seem like a lot, but you guys got to figure that these 200 that are in our guild are active. Like, our guild is constantly buzzing. We're constantly looking for 5 stacks. We're constantly... So if you need people to play with or want people to play with, join .p. It's awesome. I log on and there's always need 1 more, need 2 more. Yeah. Ranging in any MMR.
And that's the point, is that it's so great for, if you're looking for a ranked game, you can probably find some folks who are doing that. If you're new and just looking to start out, there's so many people in there that are willing to help teach.
Yeah, there are people be like, "Oh, let me coach you real quick." like Cyphus's girlfriend is starting to play Dota 2, and she, for lack of a better term, is terrible.
Like we all are when we first start. I have to defend her here. Come on now.
But she's especially terrible.
You haven't even played with her yet.
No, I haven't. I can only imagine.
No.
People offered to coach her, which is cool.
Awesome. There it is. I was telling Roland I say the word awesome way too much on this show. I found it.
It's awesome when you do that.
Yeah, it is awesome. It's so totally awesome.
So what I want to talk about today, and it's kind of obscure, But it has to do with our most recent game.
Well, first, shouldn't we do State of Affairs before we delve into all of this? Don't you feel like?
I guess so, yeah.
Since I know why you brushed over State of Affairs, why you attempted to there.
Oh, no, there's no reason.
No, there's no reason at all.
I just think it's unfair that you would ask me what my MMR is.
Yeah, I've never done it before.
I think it's none of your business what my MMR is. Or anybody's
no
business,
more transparency
really.
on .p.
No.
Roland says. Now that we're elected, we're gonna stop releasing the visitor list to the White House.
Yep. Okay. Well, my state of affairs. I'm rolling.
I'll start off first, so you can look good in comparison. How about that?
Okay.
I'm sitting at 1510.
Okay.
We've had a drastic drop. I was at I tried to go back and find the episode where I was over 1800, and that I got about 3 weeks back and couldn't find it. So now...
Yeah, we are basically at the MMR that we were reporting on episode 1, and we're now episode 39.
It feels like starting completely fucking over.
Not really. So we started this podcast, and we said all the reasons why we started this podcast, but we started this podcast because it was like we kept coming out to the music studio and bullshitting about Dota 2, and that's all we do, and it's like... I was like, hey guys, I can just flip this on switch and then we can post this online. And I was like, hey, let's do that. Okay. More like it was Cyphus' idea, but I came up with the name.
Whatever.
I came
Who
up
needs
with the
to
name.
take credit?
I came up with the name.
You did come up with a name. It's
Yes.
a great name because it's
Thank
been
you.
so apt throughout this entire run.
Yes, it has. And so we created it to log our journey in what we thought was going to be a steady climb in MMR.
I don't know why I just assumed. I don't know why I assumed that I would somehow just get better at the game.
No,
I don't
yeah.
know why I thought that would be the case.
If you would have asked, Roland from episode 1 what his MMR will be at
Episode
at episode 40,
39.
39, 40, whatever. Oh, episode 40 will be our Christmas episode.
Oh, that's cool.
That is cool.
I mean, it'd be cooler if it was 50.
Yeah,
but
it would be.
Whatever.
And that probably would have been like, well, I'll probably be nearing 3,500 by then. No, that's not how it works.
I would have hoped. In all honesty, if I try to put myself in my shoes when we first started this thing, if I
would have
was
put you about where you're at.
Thanks. No, I in all honesty, I would have thought for sure we'd be about
Over 2K. Oh yeah, and I was there. I was there. I was at 1978. I was one game, any game, a big game, a small game, a medium game. I was gonna be over 2,000.
Yeah, you were like 1990 something.
I was 1978.
Oh, okay. So you needed a solid game.
Oh, I guess I needed a solid 22.
You needed a solid 22 point game.
It felt like I was there though. It felt like I was.
Yeah. Oh, I remember the game. I remember the
yeah.
game that was supposed to be the game
And
that took you over.
I'm pretty sure it was a terrible game.
It was because it wasn't the game.
And then I was 1950, and then I was 1930, and then I was 1900. And now
We all know how the drop works.
And now I am 15.
You're
79.
69 ahead of me.
I am 69 ahead of. I'm 69 ahead of Cyphus.
We had a creepy guy laugh.
Yeah,
We'd use it right
I
there.
just hit the button. Yeah, I'm 1579. I've won a lot lately, and I'm still 1579. I was, I think last episode I was in the 1400s. I think that's what
we both dipped into the 1400s recently.
I was in low 1400s.
Although, calling a little bit of bullshit, Val owes us about 50 points.
Oh yeah, there
sure.
was 2 games.
Yeah,
there were
two
games.
ranked games
That's
where
bullshit. That's right.
Oh,
I would
so
be
painful.
1600.
One of them
probably.
was an hour-plus game where
That
we were
wasn't-
struggling to pull out that
and
victory.
we pulled it out, and it was awesome.
And
It was
still got
really,
no
that was.
reward
Didn't
for
we
it.
send the match ID to Kimbrel on that
Oh,
one?
maybe that.
I think
maybe that was.
I think
one
I
of them.
sent the match ID.
I sent one that Wazoo and I played recently.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, so once again, back to that. Kimbrel is building up all this cool content for us, and he's going to cut up all our games and do .p fails, .p wins, .p... I don't know how he's going to phrase it.
Yeah, well,
He'll do what he's going to do because he has complete autonomy.
And I have faith in Kimbrel.
Yes. So we are looking forward to a lot of changes here in .p. We've done future before, and we're gonna do. I want to briefly talk about the future of Defense of the Patients, because the future is just as important as the now as the past is to now.
That I swear to God, that made no sense.
It didn't. It didn't. But that's kind of relativity.
Oh,
all
sure,
right.
yeah.
It doesn't have to make sense. We started out with no intention of making money off of Defense of the Patients, and we are still under the same umbrella that we were. We have no intention off of making money off of this. This is what we do for fun. This is our hobby. Some people build model trains and spend a lot of money on it.
Yeah, that's what that's how we're justifying it.
Why would you create a Patreon then if you're doing it completely for free? Because we want to make it kick ass, okay? Yeah. So I want to go over the Patreon really quick, and this is the only time I'm going to do it. And I know we were going to put a commercial in here for the Patreon, but what the Patreon is for is...
okay, first
you
and
go
foremost.
ahead. Do you have it in front of you?
Yeah,
I have it in front of me, too.
So, but first and foremost, because we can both talk about this without getting into the specifics, the nitty-gritties, the Patreon is first and foremost to help fund the .p guild tournaments that some of the officers like Vix, Denomos,
Soviet Dance Bear,
those guys, and if we're leaving somebody out, I'm really sorry. You guys are all doing good work.
Denomos.
Yeah, I mentioned Vix and Denomos.
Okay.
It's like your memory is shot.
It is.
So, but yeah, they're working on a tournament, and we wanted to be able to help fund it. So, if you want to help fund it, you can go to Patreon, and you don't have to donate a ton.
You don't have to do it monthly. So many people have been like, I want a shirt, but I don't want to give you $25 a month. And it's like, okay, give us $25
for that first
month, and then
drop it down the next month.
Drop it down to what, or stop it if you don't want. If you think that $25 was enough, and that shirt. But here's the thing: that we're gonna come out with different styles. So if you keep on that 25, we're gonna send you a new shirt next month and a new shirt the following month, and we'll keep track of all that.
It may be every other month. We have to find out.
I guess we need to set expectations. We're setting, but we have looked into
because it primarily depends on how many people we get, and all that's a little up in the air. But for now, if you want a shirt, donate the $25. Look at it as paying $25 for the shirt. 10 of that goes to the tournament. 15 goes to help us cover the cost of getting the shirts
and sending it to you, and that's free shipping.
Yeah. And then beyond that, we are going to try to put a little bit of money towards just basic costs like podcast hosting services and website hosting.
Our first milestone was $100 per month, which is we spend over $100 per month on this show. Because each episode is about, what do we run it in? We run it in 228 kilobyte. Anyway, it's a term that
192.
192. Thank you. We run it in 192. So each episode's like 200 megabytes. But Libsyn, we already have the max Libsyn plan, so we just have to keep adding 250 megabytes at a time. So it's basically $10 a month per extra episode. Is the way you can look at it.
And we've added episodes now with .p Guild Chat. So our costs are going up a little bit, and we don't need to...
our telephone number costs money. We have to pay for that. We have to pay for the sets we give away, which it's not like we're not like eating chili out of an old can that we found in the garbage.
God, no.
We're fine, and we love doing this, but that basic goal is our first milestone where it says, hey, look, we are now completely flush,
everything we do continues to be free, of course.
And if we get that $100 per month, we're going to have $50 per month going toward a guild tournament. So every month there will be $50 going out to a guild tournament. You have to be in Defense of the Patients. You do not get to choose your team. We choose your team for you based on a shuffled balance of MMR.
And at some point, tournament structure modifications will be made, all that good stuff.
Yeah, and we'll look into it. I mean, if it gets big enough, and I mean, hopefully, if this basically the size of this Patreon, cut that in half, and that's how big our tournaments are going to be per month.
Yeah, but for if we do miraculously hit $500 a month, we're going to add an extra show per week.
Yes.
That's the biggest milestone there. So you would get, for instance, .p every Monday, Thursday. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday with the .p Guild Chat on Wednesdays.
So Monday through Thursday, you are going to have something .p, but 3 with Cyphus and I. We'll still do an intro for every single one, which, trust me, and I said this before, it's like Pugna life stealing ideas out of you. Like, we are like... And not a lot of people like the songs. I was sitting in Mumble the other day, and I'm not going to say who, but they're like, I don't want to pay for .p to get singing lessons. And I was like, oh, wow. I was like, fuck you.
That's great. That's great. I was like, we do need singing lessons.
Yeah, no, I can't
pay
sing.
Pay for our singing lessons.
And you know what you could do? Don't go to Patreon if you want to pay for our singing lessons, because it won't go towards singing lessons. Right.
You'll have to contact us personally for that one.
And a lot of people have said, well, I want a jersey. Like, I want a jersey where I get to pick my 2-digit number, and that's why there's only 99 available, if you didn't notice. First come, first serve on the numbers. And we put a jersey with whatever name you want us to put on it. For instance, if Easy Marchese were to get a jersey, it would say .p.easy, and he would pick 2 numbers. We'd send it out to you. Those are expensive and they're really nice.
So yeah, okay. Well,
that's why it's 100. You can drop down to $1 a month or $0.
Let's give this a little bit of organization.
All right.
So the next goal threshold is if miraculously we hit 1,000 a month, we'll do basically an episode 5 days a week. One of those being the .p Guild chat.
Yes.
So the rewards start at $1 per month. We'll read 140 characters on the show. Whatever you want, you shoot us a tweet, send us an email, tell us who you want to read it.
We did it 140 characters for tweeting purposes, so we can read your tweet if that were, the way you wanted to do it.
And then for $5 a month, you get to come and join us on the show and do your state of affairs at the top of the show. We'll keep you on for the first segment, talk about the heroes we're all playing, and have a little bit of fun.
And you get the 140 characters. You get every preceding price.
That's right. At $10, we're going to send you out some official .p stickers. They've got the Defense of the Patient's logo on it for your PC. Throw it on the back of your whatever you want to do.
We'll send you 5 or something like that.
I mean, we're going to get a ton of those.
All shipping is included. When we say we need your shipping address, it's included. So for that $10 a month, it's not like you have to pay shipping. You just have to give us your address, and we'll send you out stickers.
Right. At the $25 a month, you get the T-shirt. It's really cool. It has the logo on the front of it. High quality, and we have all size ranges. I think we go from extra small up to 6XL.
Or is it 6XL?
Yeah, it's up to 6XL.
But but the thing is, the bigger the order, the more we get off on it. If we just bought one shirt at a time, they would be more than the $15. It's go online. You guys know we're just going online to screen printers. That's literally what we're doing.
Anyway, but we'll need after we get a few of those, or at the end of the month, we'll assess how many shirts we're going to be sending out, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
And then at $50 a month, you get to be a guest host on the show. You can come on, and you get the T-shirt, and you get all the previous stuff, and you join us for the entire episode. If we have a guest on, you're there for the interview. You get to ask any questions, anything you want to do on as a guest host.
Yes. You dictate the show. So.
Yeah. And then the Mac Daddy of all the prizes.
The executive.
For $100, we're going to send out not just the T-shirt, not just have you on the show for a guest and for State of Affairs. We're also going to give you a .p team jersey. That's where you pick your 2 numbers and put your screen name or your last name or your first name or whatever you want in the back.
Kimbrel was made. I really want one that says Kimbrel, which would be a good jersey.
It would be a good jersey. And as Roland mentioned before, if you want to just donate that for the first month and then drop down,
do it.
Or drop off. That's fine. You still get the prizes. It still helps us.
But you do have to send the jersey back if you drop down. No, you can keep the jersey.
Of course.
So many people have said this, and Patreon's only been going for like 4 days officially, that we've done it, where it's dude, I don't want to spend $25 a month to get a T-shirt. It's you don't have to. And really, we could have used that Fund Me. Isn't it called Fund Me or
Fund Anything?
Fund Anything. We could have used that, and we probably should have, because it would have been a little more pointed toward. We're not looking to make a monthly charge off of you. We're just trying to, help the guild. It would be cool to get a monthly charge, because then we could every single month rely on, hey, this month, at the end of the month, we're going to have a $250 tournament.
Yeah, it would be cool to know that kind of stuff.
And could you imagine? I mean,
or to build up a prize pool for a bigger tournament. Anyway, all that's potentially feasible through the Patreon. And if you do want to give us a monthly rate, hey, $1 is awesome. We appreciate it. And $1 for 8 episodes, at least, now about 12 episodes a month. I mean, that's less than 10 cents an episode,
Yeah, I guess 12 episodes a month is what it would be. Wow.
Anyway, so enough about Patreon.
You're not paying for the show. Don't worry about it.
We appreciate everything you guys do. Enough about the Patreon.
We do. Enough about the Patreon. Still with the future of Defense of the Patients. We're going to be going to the International. Definitely. TI5.
Next year, yeah.
Next year. We're going to be going to Dota 2 League.
Yeah.
In Las Vegas.
And if you're there, come by and see us.
Please do.
And let us know in advance that you're going to be there.
Caesar's Palace, the 4th or the 5th and the 6th.
It's a Monday and a Tuesday, so I know it's a little off for a lot of people's schedules, but hey.
First Monday of January and the first Tuesday of January. Or not the first two, maybe.
Somewhere
I don't know. Anyway, so that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be there. We're going to be meeting everybody. We've tried to contact IC a whole bunch of times, and he won't get back to us, so that's too bad. We'll just have to confront him when we get there about not getting back to us about tweeting him, because we're trying to get a press pass, but there's seemingly no way to get a hold of D2L.
Roland will look up at him and try to be scary.
Look up at him?
Yeah, that was a short joke. Yeah.
That's...
Because it doesn't matter how tall he is.
What, is he in a booth or something? Like, is he above me?
It doesn't matter how tall he is.
I told you, in my head,
up.
I walk around like I'm 6'4".
Yeah,
Sure. So... I see. Not cool, dude. Not cool.
No, it's fine.
No.
He's probably got a ton of tweets.
He only has 23,000 followers, dude.
Yeah, I know. You would think he'd make time for one of them.
I'm just kidding. I enjoy IC, and that's why I was saying that.
But, if you do want to help us get in touch with him, I bet he reads the tweets that get a lot of retweets.
Yes. So what we're going to ask of you, other than the Patreon, whatever. We're going to send out a very targeted tweet, okay? That's going to say, hey, we are going to D2L, Dota 2 League in Caesar's Palace, the 5th and the 6th. And if you've listened to the show at all, can you please just hop on Twitter and retweet it? Just so he can see that there's like 35 retweets. All we're asking for is to pay for a press pass. Like, we're still going to pay. Like, we don't even want to get in for free. I just want to be able to record a show while we are there.
Watching a Pro Dota event.
Watching a Pro Dota event and pulling people in. Random, not just pros, random people that are there. Like,
others that are there for the event.
What's your state of affairs? Tell us your. I want to pull people off the floor and be like, how,
And
how
if
good
any
are
fans
you?
of the show are there, come by and hit us up too.
Luckily, my equipment we are going to be driving, so I'm going to be bringing all my equipment. And all I need to be able to do is have a socket to plug it all in. Yeah. I need 2 sockets. And if I can get that at D2L, it will be huge.
Worst case scenario, we get to go watch a Pro Dota and record in the hotel room.
But that's lame. I want you guys to be able to hear the event. I want you to feel like you're there. I want you to be able to talk to the people at the event like we're going to be talking to the people at the event. It's gonna be fun. So we're going to send out a targeted tweet. We're going to hopefully get somebody from D2L or IC or somebody, because IC apparently is casting it. He's like their head caster.
Yeah.
So we're not asking to like put us on the stage or anything. We just want to literally sit in the audience with a microphone and say, hey, do you want to come on our show real quick and talk to everybody?
Or just the press area, wherever they're doing that.
And we want to do a past, present, and future. A show before we go to the tournament.
Yeah.
A show while we're at the tournament. That's why we want the press pass. And then a show, we were considering, Cyphus won this GoPro your work party?
Yeah, office party.
And we were thinking about just recording our way back from Las Vegas in the car. And doing an episode, not like 8 hours long, but like taking out some good bits of it and then and making a show of it. But we want to do that, and we're gonna do everything that we can that fits within our time for Dota 2 and the community at large.
Yeah. Well, I think we've done enough there. Let's thanks for all you guys do. Sorry we spent so long talking about that Patreon, but we wanted to give you the rundown.
This is the first time. This is the first time
and this will be we'll probably plug it, but very basically in the future.
Yes.
But coming up, we have another segment of what's going on with Gorgon, and it's really entertaining. This is maybe my favorite so far.
Yeah, it really is. It went on the longest it ever has, and it's because, I don't know, we got into some deep shit.
Some cool discussion. And it's kind of, I feel like it was an amateur's introduction in a way to like the way pro Dota 2 is working.
Or just the way like we got into just esports in general. But anyway,
let's do that.
Let's see what's going on with Gorgon.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on with Gorgon?
And we're back with another segment of what's going on with Gorgon. How's it going, Gorgon?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys doing this week?
We're doing good. We're getting a ton of Dota in lately.
Oh, yeah? You guys have not really had a lot of opportunity to play as of late, so I imagine that is a lot of rusty fragments being shaken off right now. Is that the case? Because that's what happens to me. If I get busy and don't play, I can feel the rust.
Well, we've always been bad.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
It's hard to tell if you're rusty or just plain bad.
Yeah, so rusty, bad, same thing. Just working through the all hero.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh, cool.
Have you started your all hero, Gorgon?
Oh, I don't do the all hero. Part of the reason is because I've played and won a match with every hero. Because I've been playing years and years. You know, I played Dota 1, so it's like I don't know. It doesn't have the appeal to me. I would just rather play a ranked game than play an unranked game and pick an all hero challenge thing. I've gone through them enough that I have an understanding of all the heroes. Yeah. So
Well, then you're ready to play them all in ranked. Why do you have to play normal matches?
Well, I'm not good enough to play them all, at whatever skill level in ranked and just first lock it in. I'm not that kind of player. I hate guys, the people who first lock players or heroes that they don't really know intimately.
Yeah, guys like that suck.
I hate those guys like that. Anyway, what's going on this week, Gorgon?
We got a lot of stuff going on this week, so we can cover a little bit about what's going on with the pro meta. We can talk about the new patch that came out. We can talk a little bit about pro teams and what's going on with them. Whatever you guys kind of want to cover.
Well, all of it. Let's start with the patch.
All right, let's start with the patch then. 6.83. It came out really, really quickly. It was announced, and then it was out like a day and a half later, which is very abnormal. In fact, I literally logged on and did not realize that I was playing on the new patch until I noticed that I got into the game and noticed that everything was snowy, which is a change that everybody, I'm sure, will notice.
Definitely.
But maybe not. I'm not sure. Roshan has a Santa hat on. Have you caught that yet?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There are debt giveaways that something has changed here. I'm not.
The presents under the tree near Roshan were a pretty good indication too.
Yeah, and that tree, by the way, is new. It wasn't there.
Yeah.
I love to quelling blade that tree down just to show my Christmas spirit.
Well, also that tree, I mean, it has strategic implications because if you do put a ward to try and get Roshan vision up on the dire side high ground there, that tree will block a lot of that vision. So cutting it down is that's probably why they didn't include it right away, because there was a big Reddit outcry to bring back Roshan tree because they got rid of it when they redid that Roshan area in 6.82, and they have brought the tree back, which means that it does have some implications on warding.
Gosh, does Reddit just not have enough ammunition? They've got to got to pick a tree in front of Roshan. No, I know. I'm getting better, and I'm starting to notice these little nooks. Because I've seen people that are really good play and they escape through these little trees and all that, and it is important. It really is.
Yeah, so, it makes a big difference. One tree can significantly change the visibility of an area, especially because they changed the way visibility works now. It no longer works on cubes or squares of 2. It used to be there were certain thresholds of vision. A certain number of units was 64 and 108 or something like that. It just went, and if you hit a certain threshold, then you could see up to that threshold but no further. And now it is literally unit by unit, I believe. So that makes a very small difference, all things considered. But when you're running through a jungle, 1 degree or 1 radian of change can make a big difference if it's, 64 units that you have to be able to see or 1 unit that you have to be able to see to make, for example, a skill land.
Yeah, definitely.
1 radian of change, huh? I'd like to hear that. I'll have pi 4th radians of pizza, please.
You're so lame. But run us through what you feel like are the major highlights of the patch.
All right, so I do have up on Join Dota for anybody who does want to go through and get a more in-depth reading of what the significant highlights of the patch are. I did write something on Join Dota last week. You can find it, 10.6.83 changes you need to know. There's actually a lot more than 10 on there, but basically what you need to know about this patch is that it was geared toward professional play. Very, very little correlation between the success rate or the play rate of heroes in general pubs and whether or not they got a buff or a nerf. But there's a huge correlation to success rate and play rate to whether or not heroes got buffs or nerfs in terms of pro play. So if a hero has been played a lot in the pro scene, most likely they received a nerf of some degree or another. Brewmaster, Skywrath Mage, Juggernaut, not Juggernaut, Ogre Magi, Death Prophet, Faceless Void, I'm trying to remember all the ones that came out. Tidehunter and Vengeful Sphere, I think, are the big ones. And for example, I'm just going to pull one out that is particularly notable. The Brewmaster had his armor reduced in half from 4 to 2, if I recall correctly. So that means his effective HP starting in the early game is reduced by somewhere between 9 and 11% from that 2 armor reduction, which is a big deal in the laning phase.
Yeah, that's huge.
And his Thunderclap slow is also reduced, so he's not as good at locking heroes down. And it has a longer cooldown, which once again makes a big difference in the early laning phase for him as a mid hero. We'll probably see him start to slip off a little bit as other mid heroes start to kind of bubble up in sort of pro scene. for the general pub scene, for what most listeners are going to be playing in, most of these changes aren't going to really significantly impact what decision-making people, the process of decision-making most people are using.
Sniper and towers.
Yeah, sniper and towers, that makes a difference. The shrapnel no longer hurts towers, but you do have 3 charges of it. That fundamentally changes the way that hero plays.
Yeah.
And that's not even like a buff or a nerf. It's just a rework, to be quite honest.
Both Roland and I have had several games of sniper since that.
I've still never won with sniper. I've played like 11 games with him now. Always done really well, but never have won. And I got diagnosed why. It was because I positionally am not playing him correctly.
Yeah, I think I'm the one that diagnosed you on.
Oh yeah, because you were in the game.
Doctor.
That's right. Yeah. So I got diagnosed as to why I've never won.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, you played in our in-house last night. I totally spaced it.
That was fun. So I have been stopping by the in-houses once in a while, sometimes under a pseudonym, sometimes under Cow Dota. But I have been making an effort to reach out to the community of listeners. So, if you guys want to join the clan and chat with me in the in-houses or whatever, I try to make it by, as does the first panda. So.
Yes, and you've made it by more often than we have.
Yeah.
And we're sorry for that. We've been so fucking busy. Okay, so that's cool. We've all really seen what's going on in 6.83.
You got a point? I do have one question, actually, for you.
Okay.
So last week when you were on, you were talking about how Ogre Magi had a huge influx of picks and bans.
Yeah.
And then you were mentioning that he got nerfed here. I'm assuming that's because of his exceptionally high pick ban rate.
Yes.
What specifically did they do to nerf Ogre?
Ogre's range for Fire Blast is hugely decreased. It dropped by 125 units from 600 to 475.
Wow.
So Fire Blast being his stun. So he is no longer going to be a melee hero with mostly ranged components. He's now like a melee hero with a pseudo-ranged area of effect where he can stun. But in his laning phase, it's much more difficult to position yourself to get that Fire Blast off without giving your opponents a chance to react, which was a big part of his appeal. The other thing is the damage was reworked to be less strong in the early game. It's also less strong in the late game, but because multicast, that's not necessarily... You're not usually relying on magic damage at that stage in the game. But the early game, the difference of 5 damage from Fire Blast at level 1 and 10 at level 2. So from 60 to 120, which is what it used to be, and now it's 55 and 110. Mm-hmm. That makes a difference as well.
A difference.
It's not a
huge
huge
notable
difference.
one. I mean, you're going to die from... What's that? What is this W called again? What is it's called? Fire.
I can't remember, but it's
anyway.
Ignite?
It's the damage
Are you
over
talking
time.
about Ignite or Fire?
Oh, Ignite.
Ignite. Yeah,
that's slow. Right?
It sucks to die from that. Just like it sucks to die from Maledict, just like it sucks to die from all of those lame damage over times. Maybe Axe being the worst, which his Battle Hunger got reworked, where it does less damage now, but costs less mana.
And a lower range as well, I believe.
A lower range, less damage. God, I just like double bumped the desk. But less mana.
Yeah.
Overall, which is cool. What's going on in the pro world?
Well, in the pro world, we've been having a lot more of people kind of coming in this discussion that we mentioned a couple of times so far about there being an overabundance of games. We actually, there was a blog written out by Eternal Envy that started up the whole discussion again in the pro scene. And you can, if you search Eternal Envy rant or Eternal Envy blog, I'm sure it'll pull it up. He talks about the state of pro Dota as a player, and it's a very interesting read, but it's very long as well. And then in addition, for semi-related reasons, somewhat not related reasons, we have a bunch of teams pulling out of the I-League, which is a fairly large Chinese tournament, including Cloud9. They won't be going there. And then they received a ban from the following season as well from I-League for pulling out of they have already qualified and they decided to pull out.
Well, that'll solidify your decision not to go back.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit.
So are they citing fatigue still, or...
So for Cloud9, or Evil Geniuses cited fatigue when they pulled out the Star Series. Cloud9 is citing a lot of reasons, including the fact that they feel uncomfortable with prize pool changes that have been made. They don't feel like they have confidence in the organization to provide travel and lodging and help with all of the required obvious many issues that arise when you're trying to have players travel internationally. And They don't necessarily have a lot of faith in the management of that tournament in order to make sure that this is a worthy investment for their team. So they've decided to pull out for this season, and iLeague was like, okay, well, then you're going to be out for or at least for the next season as well. And then Hellraisers, an additional team that had qualified, also pulled out like a day later. So
wow, just 'cause, I mean, it's got to be expensive to fly 5 guys.
Oh, yeah.
Girls, guys or girls. I can't wait until we see some pro, like some serious, like Scarlet level. Scarlet being like the best, one of the best StarCraft players, and she's a girl. Come into Dota. I can't wait for that to happen. But
yeah, there's one player in China who plays on a Chinese team with a bunch of old pros there, but I don't remember her name. I've never actually seen her play, but I hear she's very good. So I don't know. There's not a lot of female presence on the pro scene, though.
Unfortunately,
for sure.
there isn't. But it's got to be expensive to send 5 people anyway to China, and to food and hotel and yeah.
So what's going on with the prize structure that is bothering
Internal Envy?
Yeah.
Well, Eternal Envy, while on C9, also wrote something completely independent of this. So I've kind of brought up a couple of independent things. The polling out of iLeague just basically comes out of the fact that the prize pool was changed, and they're not confident in the conditions that they're going to be headed to China. They did not cite directly that, we're getting less money if we go there and win, so it's not worth our time. But they did say, like, well, we're not confident in the way that the organization is providing us with the tools that we're going to need in order to go over there. We're not confident that we're going to feel comfortable. Apparently, the organization iLeague, at least according to Cloud9 and a couple of other players, pays out in cash. And there have been players who have been, like, robbed at the airport if they pay out at all. And I think iLeague also... according to some teams, has yet to pay out for season 1, which is 2 seasons ago. This is very common in esports. I don't know if you guys know.
No.
It's very common. Very, very commmen for teams to not get paid for months or years or sometimes not at all. And this goes back
for a
throughout
win?
For every esport throughout the history of esports. This is just a thing that plagues esports, especially like the old Quake shooters, the beginning of really like the late 1990s, early 2000s, when competitive gaming really started to get some decent prize pools, like thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. There are a lot of pro players who ended up not getting the amount of money that they had actually earned from organizations, because organizations don't end up making the revenue that they expect, or they don't end up paying out because they have fine print, or because sometimes there are issues where tournaments say that teams or players broke rules, and so they penalize. A lot of these things don't happen as much in Dota as they used to happen in like Quake. But you do have a lot of teams that don't make as much money as they do on paper because they don't get paid for 6 months, 8 months, 9 months, or longer.
Huh. So what is the highest paid player? Do you know?
The highest paid player? I think it varies year to year, quite honestly.
What was the highest paid player at one point? You probably know this, right?
There are estimations.
Okay.
How
much?
Probably currently, how in terms of the amount that he has earned is probably the highest, but that doesn't include things like endorsements. I think How has earned something along the lines of 1,000,000 and 180,000 or something like that.
Huh.
And that most of that is going to be from the last TI, right?
Okay.
In terms of people who haven't won TI since the prize pools have gotten millions and millions of dollars, it's probably somebody on Navi, somebody either like Dendi, maybe Puppy, because once again they won international. It was still a lot of money, but it was before the prize pools became super inflated. And they also have a lot of endorsement deals that they get through their team. And they're probably paid salary from their team as well, though I don't necessarily know. This is another big thing with the economics of esports, that a lot of companies force players to keep their salaries or their payment secret. And it makes it very difficult for players to establish if they're being paid what they're worth. Because a guy like Dendi, part of his contract might be, and I don't know if this is the case for him or not, but part of the contract often is for players, you will not disclose information about your contracts with other players. And so there have been some calls for players to unionize or something along those lines.
Don't you feel like that's probably unionizing is the way to go, clearly, because you look at professional sports, at football, at baseball, Players unions have a ton of power. I mean, it was 2 or 3 years ago that the NFL union went on strike.
I remember
to
that.
renegotiate. And I don't know. I mean,
Well, I'd be pissed if I were, say, Universe or Zai, for instance, on EG, and I'm sitting next to Arteezy and he's making triple what I'm making. And it's like, well, what the fuck? Like, I'm still playing all the games he's playing. Like, yeah, I'm not this incredible mid, but I still supported him to get all those kills.
But at the same time, it's going to be one of those things. Sports is one of those areas where it's not about making sure everybody gets paid equally. Sports are about paying the best players the most money. It's always going to be that way.
Mm-hmm. It's about paying the highest valued players the most.
That's probably
it's
a better
about
way to put it.
maximizing value for dollar is really what it is.
Would you pay more for PPD than Arteezy, Gorgon?
Oh, me for PPD than Arteezy?
Yeah. You're starting a team. You're starting a team.
Here's the deal that I will put forward. I think most players on most teams, in terms of the income that they get from their team, as far as I'm aware, those are usually even, and they might even be group determined. They might be.
I'd like to think
there might be group negotiating there. But in terms of like, especially in China and Southeast Asia, where there are a lot of gaming houses that pay salary for players to live in a house and play games under the name of the owner of the house and team. Mm-hmm. Somebody who plays for House A, like Tong Fu or something like that, won't know what somebody from IG is making. And so it's very difficult for them to tell Tong Fu whether or not they're going to renew their contract or if they're going to become a free agent and try to get more. That's really the issue. It's not necessarily that players are sitting next to on a team with another player and they're like, I don't know if I'm being rated as highly as I should be against you. It's really about, am I being rated highly enough in terms of my market value?
Global. Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean,
well, and so I feel like at the end of the day, if you were to have a little bit more transparency there, it would indirectly help the stability of these events.
It should. Yeah. That's my opinion anyway.
Yeah, because you at some point, if I'm just a run of the mill average gaming house, let's say, and I want to put on a tournament. If I'm going to put on a tournament and I know what the players are expecting to get paid or about what they think they need or even just how much it costs to maintain a team, then I'm going to have a better idea of whether or not it's going to be profitable for me to host that event. Yeah. You're not going to be able to tell that. You're not going to be able to tell that with everybody maintaining everything so secretly. And that's one of those weird hangups that esports has.
Well, because they can still get away with it. Because esports is still in its infancy where they can get away with this without being transparent.
Well, it's more of its... I don't like saying that it's because of it's in its early stages. I prefer to think of it as kind of an immaturity of the gaming community still. Mm-hmm. There's an inability to take the lessons that have been learned in other arenas that pay out players like this in a competitive fashion. There's just the gaming culture seems to like just push everybody away. To push those other types of competitive organizations away, and they want to do things the way that they do them.
Well, let's bear in mind that there is no league for Dota, so it's obviously it's better for management, right? If there is a lack of transparency, because for them, they're going to be able to negotiate with the upper hand, and when we're talking about economic negotiations, it's always better for you, or at least in the short term, it's always better for you if you have information advantage. So you know what players are making, you know what you have available, you know what your maximum bid is, and you know that they don't have any of that information. That's very powerful. And imagine if for in the NBA or whatever, if somebody comes out like LeBron James comes out and he's not allowed to know what other players are making. So when he goes in to negotiate with teams, he has to make the choice, do I go become a free agent or do I just stick with the team I'm on?
Yeah, that's tough.
And then imagine that he has much less likely of a chance to be immediately picked up because obviously basketball is a much larger subculture than Dota or sports in general.
What do you think's getting... I know that we're like going way over time. Roland gave me a time signal just now, but I feel like this is a really interesting conversation.
Yes, it is.
What do you think is holding back making like a standard Dota 2 league? Why couldn't you mimic like a baseball season where they do actually do best of threes? When MLB teams get together, they do 3 days in a row, a game a day. You could do all three. You could do the entire series in a single night with Dota. But I mean, having like a weekly league where we started having team banners, where we started having this, And we, eventually had that official national championship or that official World Series championship. I mean, what gets in the way of that? Because it feels like at the end of the day, there's more money and maybe more, by standardizing that way, more ability to pull in an audience by going that route, as opposed to these, now they're running it more akin to poker. Roland and I see a lot of, similarities in the way poker is run with Dota, far more than you see with professional sports.
Yeah, it's true. It would be cool to also see teams where they had an advertising budget and they had a marketing budget where they're going to I know EG does a great job at this. EG does do that, and I know they have a budget for that because everybody knows of EG and they think they're awesome, and that's the same with StarCraft. That's the same with Dota. EG was the shit. Everybody loved EG.
Yeah.
And that's because they have a cool logo, they have a cool design, and they have players that you want to emulate, right? They have players who are like Arteezy, that is this young kid who doesn't give a fuck, you know what I mean? It's a great mid. And then they have PPD, who's the centered young kid as well, who's telling everybody what to do. I would love for that to be like an official team.
What are your thoughts on that front, Gorgon?
I think that this is honestly, people have been asking a lot about this because it basically ties into this conversation the community is having about oversaturation, and it ties into basic game theory, right? We have a lot of independent decision makers, basically, who have a will to come out ahead. And let's say we just have 3 major tournaments right now, even though we have way more than that. Say we have Star Ladder and 2 others. Star Ladder comes to mind because they're running right now. Star Ladder, iLeague, and Dota Pit, or something like that.
Okay.
It's not in the benefit of any one of those tournaments to give up control of their tournament or give up control of their scheduling in order to allow another tournament to have more access to players or to viewers. And so every tournament, rather than reducing their production value or reducing the amount of games that they have, it's in their best interest to basically just try to corner whatever market share that they have and really hone in on something, at least in terms of the short term. Valve isn't stepping in to do anything about it, and that's basically what it comes down to.
Well, and it would need to be Valve, probably.
Yep.
Basically, yeah, because no other organization has the amount of money or the amount of control over the scene in order to monopolize the market, which is basically what we're talking about. We're talking about creating a monopoly league where all the world's considered best players are given a salary in order to play in that league and not play elsewhere, so that there's not oversaturation. So basically what you would have to have. And Valve is the only authority who would have that kind of control.
And I don't think they want to do that.
They're not interested in right now. Even though I would love to see a league, I would love to see a standard schedule in which each region has one game per day.
It's so strange that you don't see money going that way, or that you don't see any of these, not just even in Dota, but just in esports in general, that you don't see these gaming companies or these game developers going that direction.
Well,
StarCraft tried to. Blizzard tried to with StarCraft, and
Blizzard
it kind of
tried to a little bit, and League of Legends did so arguably very successfully, and continues to do so arguably very successfully. Riot has maybe too much control over their scene, is what a lot of people argue. And when people talk about Valve taking more control over the Dota scene, a lot of detractors from that will say like, oh, so they just want to, you just want them to become king and emperor of Dota like Riot is of
But
League
they
of
are.
Legends.
They already are, is the truth. I mean,
Right,
They're the ones that made 6.83 and made it so Sniper can't hurt towers with shrapnel anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They
at
are,
the end of the day, they
are
are.
God. Yes. I would love for there to be, like you were saying, 3 tournaments a year. So I know that these players are playing at their tip fucking top. They have been practicing
and they
for
have
months.
time to practice.
Yeah.
When I was talking to some players, and I'll leave the players unnamed.
Sure.
But when I was at New York for ESL 1, I was talking to some players, and that was right after the roster switches, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to a player, and I was like, so how much have you guys really practiced for ESL? This is off camera, this is off mic, and that player was like, oh, we haven't practiced at all as a team yet.
Yeah.
And this was like their second or third tournament as this team. And he's like, we literally have not sat down as a team and practiced probably more than 8 hours set at all ever in history. As a squad, because we haven't had time, we've been traveling too much, we're burnt out, and we play our practice is playing the game. We don't have time to watch VODs anymore. We don't have time to research our opponents. We basically just come and play because we have to play 4 games a day every single day, and then we have to travel across the world once a month.
Yeah, or to like exercise too. Like you were saying in the first time you ever came on the show, is that there is that aspect of staying physically fit in order to be fit. in the game.
I mean, fitness,
and they don't get a
fitness
lot
is
of
predator.
Yeah, they don't get a lot of physical fitness, or at least the ability to take care of themselves with a constant travel schedule.
Yeah, it's true.
It's difficult.
So anyway, Wazoo just walked in. Wazoo, say hello to everybody. Wazoo just walked into the studio. Real quick, Wazoo, do you think that Dota 2 should be more standardized in their tournaments, as in 3 tournaments? Have a standard format where people are paid in salaries and everything like that. Obviously, you can't hear what Gorgon's going to say in response. But what do you think?
I think that there should definitely be a standard format. I don't know about salaries, how that would work, because there's obviously numerous different sources of income. There's
Endorsements
price
and
pools and everything. Yeah. So.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Gorgon, this has been an awesome conversation. I'm really glad that you sparked this today.
And then we got Wazoo in here to give us
Yeah,
a
this is
bit.
something that I've been really vocal about for a really long time.
Sure.
That I would like to see players treated more evenly, and that there would be more. Basically, yeah, that would be more transparent throughout the scene, and maybe a little bit more control. But so thanks for giving me a platform to sit on my soapbox.
Yeah,
for a little bit. This is a great conversation to have Nahas on for, though.
Oh yeah, well we should.
Nahas knows a lot about this sort of stuff and how it works in terms of real world economics, and
I'd
he's
have
a
to
really
be up
smart
the
guy
show.
to have that discussion. So
If Nahas was on, it would just be me gushing the whole time. I'd just be like, "Oh my god, Nahas!"
Well, let's
sign
keep an
my
eye on
boobs.
let's keep an eye on this issue as it all kind of develops. I'd love to bring this conversation back into the light once more down the road. So
I'm gonna. I know we're basically out of time. I'm just gonna throw in one more thing. Simba's no longer in Team Secret, guys.
Why?
Simba's gone.
Who's replacing him?
All right, so they cited the fact that there's been a little bit of coordination issues or something like that. There's just a difference in play priorities,
wow.
They're replacing him with Misery. So
he's not good enough, is what they're saying. That's a nice way of saying you're not good enough to be on Team Secret.
Well, Team Secret has a very, very, very unique play style for the current meta, and I think it might legitimately just mean he doesn't necessarily line up with our priorities. And if you want to learn more about Secret's play style, I wrote on the Dat Dota blog a very extensive look at in-game economics for EG, VG, and Secret and how they differ. So go to the datdota.com and click on blog, and you'll be able to find my article there if you guys want to learn a little bit more about the nitty-gritty of how pro teams are differentiating themselves in terms of play style for in-game economics.
If it's more than 3 paragraphs, I'm not going to read it.
It's very long. It is excessively long.
all right.
It is probably tens of thousands of data points long.
I'll make him read it.
You can't.
All right. Well, Gorgon, thanks for coming on the show. If folks want to find you, of course, they can find you on Twitter at GotCowDota. They can go to DatDota, check out your blog. Go to joindota.com to check out your articles there, where you are a member of the elder staff, as they say.
Yes.
So thanks for coming on the show, and we appreciate it.
My pleasure, guys.
We'll be right back, guys.
Hi, this is Face from Science and Liquor, a new podcast where we drink liquor and talk about science. If you're enjoying this show, please remember to tell a friend. Find us at scienceandliquor.com or on iTunes, and please leave a review for us to read on the show. New episodes are released every Monday. Thanks for listening to Science and Liquor.
And welcome back, everybody. It was definitely my favorite segment with what's going on with Gorgon so far.
Yeah, so I think that was the 4th.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it was the 4th. So we've been doing it for a month now. I think we've done 4 feeder noobs as well, haven't we?
Yeah.
Stop looking at the TV.
I am. Hey, I'm looking at you, buddy.
No, but it was really cool. Gorgon. I have to look at the time because we always go over. Initially, our plan with what's going on with Gorgon and also with dressing.p was to do 10 minutes, where we just have a 10-minute segment, and they have never ever been within 3 minutes of 10 minutes. Which this one tripled 10 minutes.
I don't care.
But it was really interesting. It's stuff that I don't know. I was curious about, even being the uninitiated with the pro Dota scene.
Yeah, well, I think at the end of the day, whether and I know we brand ourselves as not being pro centered, and I feel like we aren't, and I don't feel like that conversation even overstepped that brand.
No, we're not talking like, oh my god, did you hear that Kuroki was playing Drow Ranger with a Q first?
I think that was an interesting just assessment of kind of esports in general, definitely, but Pro Dota 2 as well, and an introduction to how it kind of functions and how it works and how at least a basic rundown of, hey, here's what's going on. And that's, how Pro Dota 2 works.
Apparently. We did have an awesome game. today. It was a 75-minute. A few of us were playing All Hero. Eric was. Easy was on Tide. I was on Kunkka. Kunkka's my All Hero. Polyrhythm on the Sky Wrath. H-Kun on the Faceless Void. And you were on some hero I can't remember because it was
Sniper.
Unimpactful.
Yeah, unimpactful. I believe I was leading the team with kills. Yeah, I had 2 mega kill runs on that.
You did
it
really well.
It was a good time. I don't know.
It was 75 minutes long.
What was most impressive, though, I got to give you this one. Mm-hmm. The Kunkka, when you had the double Daedalus.
Daedalus Battle Fury.
Yeah, walking up behind you and watching you cleave a creep wave in a single hit. And one hit that Lena.
Oh, yeah.
She was like a level 22, I think. Yeah. Level 23.
And I dropped my boat. She was stunned. And I one-hit her from a cleave. I didn't even hit her. My cleave one-hit her. Yeah. So I hit a creep and it killed Lena.
It was pretty entertaining.
And it was like, how could we lose that game?
But we did.
We did. And how we lost, and that, I want to talk about this briefly, so I'm on All Hero Kunkka. It was the second time I have ever played Kunkka, other than in bot matches. So I understand how he works. I understand every so often he can cleave. He kind of has a built-in Battle Fury, but it does more damage. It's really cool. He has a boat thing. He has a torrent thing. He has an X marks the spot thing that always brings him back to the spot. I understood that. But I didn't understand just how much like babysitting he needs to keep hitting. Because he doesn't, like, he's weak sauce, dude. Like, in a team fight, they would just, like, Phantom Assassin would be like, I'm going to throw a dagger at Kunkka, kill him real quick, and then we'll win the team fight.
I don't know. I feel like, so here's what I feel like was happening to you in a couple of spots there. One, you were going up against a PA, and you were the last on the team to get a Monkey King bar.
But I wasn't short after because my farm was so crazy, like you were saying. I got, my net worth was at least 30,000.
Yeah, but the delay on the MKB, I think, is what made it feel like that, especially in that early part of the late game around the 40-minute mark.
Well, it was the one kill. It was where I hit her with the boat, and then Easy ravaged. And then she had like a sliver of health left, and I was full, and I was just hitting her. And if I would have hit one time with my double Daedalus,
through the evasion,
if I could have hit one time through that evasion, she would have died. But then she just shink 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 and killed me because I couldn't hit her. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna get an MKB, and I farmed it out within like what felt like 5 minutes.
So I think that was happening, and I think you also underestimated the amount of damage you were taking from your cleave hitting the blade mail on that timber saw, who was sticking pretty close by to PA in most every team fight.
And it felt like that blade mail was always on.
It felt like he felt like maybe he had dual blade mail. I should have checked.
You can't. I don't think you can do that. It's a unique modifier.
I was making a joke.
Like, the only person that could do dual blade mail would be Nyx Assassin. But yeah, God, like
it was constant.
He's the one that won them the game too. So it got to a point where I was defending from. We got mega'd. So Kunkka stayed back. I double Daedalus, Monkey King bar, Battle Fury, Boots of Travel, and then I don't know, something else. I was 6 slotted. I know that for sure. And I got to the point where I couldn't even take the megas. Like I could one hit creep waves until the megas came in, and I did not realize the strength of the mega creep until I had to deal with 2 lanes of it because you guys were pushing mid. So I had to deal with top
you were
and
at max, and you were at max level with the double Daedalus and the Battle Fury.
Double Daedalus, Monkey King bar, Battle Fury. Yes, and it was extremely tough.
It was strange to see just how much. I don't know. I mean, I guess it makes sense though that megas. You were a single man though. You were soloing. Megas coming from all directions,
I was able to. So before, like you were saying, I could one hit a creep wave, and then it got to with the megas where it took about 3 hits, but that 3 hits really mattered, because Daedalus doesn't do anything for attack speed.
Yeah.
No, my attack speed was the same throughout the entire game. I never hit faster. No, it wasn't, because I did hit faster because I gained levels and I got more.
MKB. Oh no, MKB doesn't increase
I don't think
attack
so.
speed.
So I was attacking at the same rate, and doing an insane amount of damage. But those megas, it's like a hero's health. Those megas, and so it got to the point where I was like, okay, please win, hurry guys, please win, because it was one of those points where it's like, oh, stay, go, 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 and Faceless was like 6 slotted, Sniper was 6 slotted, Tidehunter, I don't think he ever got Refresher.
Which might have been a helpful thing. Easy.
Might have been. Yeah.
Thanks for throwing the
Easy
game
at losing games.
Wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So it was 75 minutes long. It was still a blast. We all had fun. It was great.
It was a really good time.
It was.
And it was great playing with polyrhythm.
Yeah, first time I ever played with polyrhythm. So, really, we're gonna do a Christmas episode.
Oh yeah,
so
we should talk
do
about
look
that.
forward to that.
Wazoo's gonna join us as a guest on that episode.
He will. Wazoo's gonna be on our Christmas episode, which
And
is airing Thursday
on Christmas. Are Easy and Denomalous, they're planning on a Wednesday release still?
I don't know.
Christmas Eve release?
I don't know. So tentatively look forward to Guild Chat this week. I'm sure they record it before, so I'm sure they'll probably get an episode of Guild Chat done. But
yeah, you'll get a little Christmas .p action nonetheless. We're
absolutely
going to keep on the schedule.
Absolutely. So go ahead and close us out, Cyphus.
All right, well, if you want to find us, you know where. defenseofthepatients.com, defenseofthepatients@gmail.com, Twitter @p_show, and Facebook, you can search Defense of the Patients. Of course, iTunes is our favorite place where you can go and subscribe to the show, get it downloaded to your phone or whatever device you like to use, and, leave us a review. And tell a friend if you're enjoying the content. We appreciate it. And check out that Patreon, patreon.com/Defense of the Patients. I don't know that we gave that out earlier.
No, I don't think we did.
Anyway, so yeah, hit us up there. And until next time, this is Cyphus for Gorgon and Roland, and Wazoo, briefly, saying good luck and Godspeed.
But I didn't understand just how much, babysitting he needs.